this would be a more relevant league. It's faster. It's a McNugget league. The points come faster. It's easier to digest. It's obviously more cost efficient, and it's more.
It's something that we could take worldwide too. Yeah. Considering that the NFL Europe, in all honesty, is a bust. It doesn't work.
Shh! Don't tell Tagliabue.
He's holding on to something. Sorry, Mr. Commissioner, who's been incredible to me. But the truth is that 15 or 20,000 people that sit in that stadium and make it look like a sound check.
Yeah.
Put them into an arena.
Forget about it.
They're junkies. They want to see football. They live for football.
Yeah.
Put this game in there. Take it to Asia. Same kind of thing.
Now I'm going back to John Bon Jovi, the marketer. You yourself, for instance, went out and got Samsung as one of the sole sponsors. Tell me, you yourself go in and make that deal. Take me into the boardroom. You're sitting there with the Samsung guys. I want to be in that meeting with John Bon Jovi and that's Chief Marketing Officer of Samsung.
Well, let me take you back to when I went to the league, and you're sitting amongst these rather conservative eyebrow guys that are wondering why the long hair is in here. And the first thing I have to tell them is don't judge a book by its cover, because you guys think inside the box. And let me tell you what you're doing wrong. Or not wrong, but what we can do better. And for example, I didn't want to know about Wilson, Nike, Adidas for a uniform deal. I went to Russell Simmons. I said, this is the hippest thing we can do.
Yeah.
The league, it didn't work out, so I went to Mitchell & Ness, who make the great throwback vintage jerseys that every pop star in the world and athlete wear. I went to them and I said, how would you like to make your first original uniform in an original color that's never been used before? The name is soul. I don't care if you're a Bon Jovi fan or a football fan. Everybody thinks they got soul.
That's it, right.
Everybody bought into that. When I went to Samsung, I said, consider my persona, consider what this game is, consider that your brand is a lifestyle brand. Phones, TVs, everything. It's a lifestyle. How can you do something in the community that I can put the face to?
Yeah.
And our community initiatives are second to none, maybe not even the Eagles. And we're about to launch something that I can't divulge just yet, but that I think is going to be really big and important. And again, I get nothing for it. Even O'Reilly
if you want to talk
beat
about
up on it.
O'Reilly, he's a thug.
Yeah.
I've challenged him to a fist fight on the show. He won't come on. He's a scaredy man.
Trying to do things for the community are so important in order to make this work.
You have a no thug policy on your team, and basically take me through the kind of underpinnings of the no thug policy.
Well, it was quite simple. You know, I look at these guys, and I want a winner on the field, mind you, but more importantly off the field, because if we didn't make our presence known in the community and really endear ourselves to those people, I'd be going to an Eagle game. End of story. Just root for the Eagles. Why do I need to know about this? But if these guys go out and represent themselves in a way that it's going to endear them to that community, I think we can be difference makers.
Yeah.
So if a guy wants to play, you know, thug and jump into the stands and start a fight, you might as well just keep going up the stairs because you're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did what I said I would do and got rid of some of our premier players.
So if you were David Stern and Artest did that, would you throw him out of the league forever? I would have.
I did. I would have. Yeah. I would have. I just don't think it represents role models for kids.
Well, how about a guy like T.O.? I mean, who obviously didn't do something like that, but you know, that's Sharpie stuff. It's clearly the guy, and I've talked a lot about it on the show, that the guys today that are the big heroes are the guys pulling their pants down, and so
Jerry Rice would have not have done that.
Yeah.
And that's my answer to those things.
Well, I had Michael Irvin on the show yesterday. He basically said, you know, Barry Sanders, greatest guy in the world, hands the ball off to the ref. Nobody talks about it, and that's it.
Right.
You know,
well, that's the thing. You know, there's a lot of magazine covers I'm not on.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear that side of the story. But I'm still here.
Right.
And they're not.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice, Michael Jordan, Phil Simms, Elway.
Yeah.
Those are the names that are in the Hall of Fame. Those are, and now, mind you, I will give this great accolade that deservedly to T.O. is post his injury, he then did become the cheerleader for the team.
Oh, yeah, nobody questioned he's a team guy. That's the thing. He can be outrageous and do inappropriate things, but nobody ever said he wasn't.
He went in that locker room and said, I'm just a part of this. This is about us, which is what I've been preaching all along. It's the power of we. That's John Tish's book.
There you go, a plug for John Tish's book.
Love that, John.
He's going to be very happy about that. You talked about you're not on magazine covers, and you have been on magazine covers. You are, to me, a poster boy of a guy in his early 40s who are no longer kids. Yet you stand for a generation that is basically, we are holding on to your youth. I mean, look at your hair and your lifestyle. I mean, you're cooler than any 21-year-old guy. I'd like to have 1% of that. What do you feel as a guy today versus a guy as 18? Just about your life, about sex, about love, about, I mean, do you feel better as a man? Do you feel weaker as a man? Do you feel stronger as a man?
40 to me was a great birthday. You know, I just had a sense of accomplishment, that all the goals that I had set forth I achieved, and the ones that I didn't achieve, I was okay with. I was comfortable with that. I feel better about today's generation than I did about the generation 10 years ago, because I think that there's a renewed sense of optimism.
You're talking about the kids.
Kids,
Yeah.
18-year-olds today versus 18-year-olds in 92.
I want to stay on you as a 40-year-old, and you said it was your happiest birthday. I actually think men become who they're going to be at 40. I think women become who they're going to be at 30. And it's interesting, even in our discussions about what you said, yeah, well, this is where I am in my life. I know my band's not breaking up. And I think it's just such a great time for men. And I think it's just men in their 40s. I'm seeing across are just kind of at their best.
And it's proven in business and sports ownership. And I think it's a fabulous time.
Do you ever, though, feel the only thing I do see guys struggling with is, obviously, you don't have 100 years in front of you. Obviously, there may not be that next great love. You know, you have the love of your life, but there's not going to be great new sexual partners. There may not be that new business to conquer. You're in a luxurious situation. You can explore things. I can explore things. I find a lot of guys, though, very desperately, as they get towards 50, going, whoa, is this over? What's next? And it's a real conundrum kind of thing.
That's too bad, because you're only limited by your limitations mentally. You know, anything you can imagine, you can have. I set my sights on a silly idea that all my advisors told me, why do you want this football team? It makes no sense economically.
Yeah.
I said, here's the X factor. You know, why do you want to get into movies? At a time when I wanted to get into movies, they weren't accepting the pop star. And it's still the most difficult road that I've ever challenged myself to try to succeed on. Now with the record thing, I just feel like, look, I'm not playing anyone else's game, and my advice to those kind of guys is, don't stop dreaming. I don't care if you're 40.
Yeah.
You know, tell Sumner Redstone that he's getting old. Yeah. You know, he's just not stopping.
I actually have a thing. I got a book coming out called The Multiple Mountain Theory, that whenever you can create new mountains for yourself to scale. I mean, because you could have, the difference of the, what I'll call the energy you get from, you've sold 100 million albums. Okay, you can sell 120 million, but the juice you get from starting a football team from scratch versus that next 20 million, you can't. Same thing I'm feeling this TV show. Right. People say, you're crazy. What are you doing to TV?
No, that's
the challenge of this versus building an ad agency just to that next level.
Absolutely true. I mean, the idea of touring and the whole, I've done it.
I've been there, done that. You know you can do that.
Yeah, now it's the team, it's movies, it's entrepreneurism, it's community.
All right, stick around. We got more with Bon Jovi. Don't go anywhere. Later, we'll talk to one of the stars from Sunday's Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles, Freddie Mitchell, and we'll show you some of this year's Super Bowl ads. But first, back to my friend, Mr. Bon Jovi. John, we do a thing on the show, kind of celebrity riffs, where we just throw out things in pop culture. Love to get your feelings on them, just bounce back and forth.
Okay, I'll do the best I can.
You ever sit in bed and watch Desperate Housewives with your wife?
I have not seen it.
Okay. The theory, we're talking about this guys in their 40s, that all of a sudden the world's woken up. Guess what? Women over 40 can be hot. Duh.
Yeah.
Why is this suddenly happening in 2005?
Women are taking pretty good care of themselves.
But they were taking care of themselves 2 years ago and 4 years ago. I mean, all of a sudden,
maybe I wasn't looking at the school moms, you know, like I do now.
You know, your wife could be watching.
Eva Longoria is the exception to the rule, though. Come to my school; they're not Eva.
Yeah,
you know, they're not.
I haven't seen them running around anywhere on Long Island.
They got the yuppie bob and the the wide hip type jeans that go up above the belly button now, man. Let's be honest here. That's Hollywood.
Well, a little bit. They're starting to, a little bit. They're starting to climb in a little bit. Still,
I hear what you're saying. Those great, beautiful actresses that.
But they're still not on the soccer fields yet, in reality.
Not
Jersey.
Not in the burbs, buddy.
Okay, you were very active in the Kerry campaign.
Yeah.
Monday morning quarterbacking a few months later. Why'd the guy lose?
I think that Karl Rove is brilliant. Yes, and as I sat there around, on the plane, having done this 4 years ago with Al, and seeing the holes at that time in the campaign, this time I realized when they couldn't win Hollywood, they demonized it. When they couldn't win on Vietnam, they demonized it. And those are big issues, because then you put the gay rights amendment in 11 states. Boy, go talk to somebody in the Midwest about that.
Yeah.
I asked the guy, do you know anybody who's gay? Do you even know anybody? No, but I don't want them in my schools. I don't want them in my... What are they going to do to you? Let anybody who finds love in their life, give them a break, for goodness sake.
Yeah, they're going to really kill the world, don't they? Okay, you and we're both creative guys. If all of a sudden Howard Dean takes over the DNC and he calls you and I and says, okay, I've lost my mind, but John, Donna, you guys sit down. Give me in 3 sentences the new Democratic brand. What do we do with this thing?
I'm afraid that we're going to become such centrists that it's going to be indistinguishable who
But
our
if that's what you have to
candidate is.
do, if Clinton was brilliant in that, realizing, well, that's the only way you can be elected. If that's what we have to do, though, isn't that the right strategic thing? And then, I mean, there's no other play. And that's you can sit on your soapbox and go, guess what? I'm not going there. But if you have to be centrist to get elected, if that's the game, we got to do it.
Then it's like anything else. Then it's a game, and it's heartbreaking because that's why I got involved and built a medical clinic down where I live, because healthcare is crazy. Why don't we get into politics? Because we know what a game it is, and it's better to be an entrepreneur and do something, because it breaks your heart knowing that 50% of the people hate you as soon as you walk out the door.